Well, I didn't think we'd be back at the Belmont so quick, Justin. Season just finished and we're back here again.
Yeah, indeed.
But this time it's additions to the team and moving forward.
Yeah, definitely. I think, first and foremost, Richard and I spoke when we first come to the club about we wanted to build a backroom team. We couldn't quite do that straight away. We needed to take a little bit of time. We brought Sam on. Unfortunately, Sam's had to stand down just because of his commitments outside of football.
We can hear the willow in the background.
Yeah, we can hear the smacking of the red ball. We desperately needed a goalkeeping coach to come to the club. And in Scott, we've got one of those. Scott, obviously, I've worked with before. Faversham, and we've got on very well over the years, and he's a key part in making sure that the goalkeepers are ready during the games and in the week, and it won't be just for the first team as well, either it'll just with the reserves and the under 18 keepers. Scott will work with them, and people forget that how important it is. It's all right coaching all the lads week to week, but goalkeeping coaches are a specialist area, and I trust him 100%, and he makes the decisions on the Saturday if they're not right mentally or physically and he thinks they need a rest or they're not right for that game, then we'll go with what Scott says, and so it's important to have him on board, and I'm delighted to have him.
So Scott will be up at the G3 with
Scott will be pretty
training
much everywhere. Yeah.
Everywhere, yeah. Scott will be everywhere.
Scott will be everywhere.
Scott, you've been working with one of our prodigies, young Frenchie.
I have.
He started off at Whitstable at I think he was about under 15s, I think, or under 14s, and we lost him to Ebbsfleet, and then he moved around, and I believe you've been working with him at Faversham. Is that correct?
Yeah, I spent 3 years working with Rob when he left Ebbsfleet. Was quite young then, and just making his way in the game. Obviously stepping up into sort of like men's football was a bit tough for him, but he was brilliant in the 2 seasons, especially the year we won the league. He was probably outstanding, and though we won it convincingly, there were certain key points in certain games that without Frenchie would have been dead and buried. He's still young, so 22 now.
22, yeah.
And a great prospect, and I really believe he'll play at a high level.
Yeah, good. That's good. So. We're talking a bit premature about players coming here or not coming here, but obviously you're the man with the hand on the keepers, and I'm delighted to have you here. We've had a pretty good history of people at the football club with goalkeeping coaches. Mark Lane, for instance. Mark joined us when Laney came to us rather fortuitously. We played against Faversham while he was the goalkeeper there, and he had an absolutely outstanding game. He really did. We just couldn't get anything past him, and I think from that day onwards our sort of aspirations and our admiration of Mark went through the roof, and he ended up here as our goalkeeping coach, and he was with us when we got to the Ryman, so it was good stuff. So big shoes to fill, but well done, and I wish you well. Well done.
Thank you very much.
Well done. Justin, just a bit about Bill, so you're right there, your left.
Me and Bill go back a very, very long way. I could bore you to tears with the stories we've got.
No, thank you.
Bill was my sort of first manager at youth level at Dover. Bill's been involved in the game for about 150 years now, and sorry mate. I brought Bill to Faversham from Dover. He was at Dover for a very, very long time in numerous capacities. We brought him over to Faversham. First of all, he came over pretty much without a role, just to be involved. And then when we won the double that year, Bill was pretty much instrumental in making sure everything was organised behind the scenes. Not only making sure everything was sorted in the changing room, but doing our statistics, making sure that the equipment was available and ready all the time, keeping an eye on everything for us. And also, I've leaned on Bill, as I will do now, for his knowledge and his thoughts on the game.
Basically, just making your job easy.
Yeah, it is. And people frowned upon when I had Faversham. I had a big backroom staff, but there's a reason.
You need it, don't you?
Everyone has got an opinion, and if you've got everyone's opinion, you've got the chance to make a better decision on the game. And I trust these two implicitly, and Bill, over the years, has seen far more games of football than I have. He's got far more knowledge than I have, and I'm still a young manager, and I'm still learning. And I can still learn a lot from Bill. So to have him back on board here and part of the team is key to what we're trying to do.
Well, Bill, you certainly come with high recommendations, because your name is mentioned around the club without you even being attached to it. So that in itself speaks volumes, doesn't it? So I know there'll be a lot of people delighted to have you on board. So it's going to be an interesting year for us, isn't it?
Hope so.
Yeah, I hope so. Have you got any thoughts as to how things were going to pan out, or any aspirations as to how you want to change things? Or
We're really going back to, I've worked with Justin and Scott at Faversham. I've worked with Richard Langley for 5-6 years at Dover. So the whole team will know each other. The plan being that Justin, Richard and Scott look after the players in the team, and I back them up because it's not their task to worry about the little things behind the scene. They need to get on, sort the team out.
yeah, he can then concentrate on the football side of it.
And
Yeah,
the rest of it's got to be professional,
Yeah.
and it's got to be. It's no secret we use Dover as a role model
great role model.
because
Great
they're
role
a
model.
very good club.
Yeah, very good club.
But that's where I come from, and it worked very well at Faversham.
Yeah, he did.
Indeed. Well, it's on behalf of everybody involved with the football club, I'd like to welcome you both on board. I'm sure that we'll have a great season. I know that Justin's aiming high, and why not? He came on board when we were a little bit unsteady, to say the least. Guided us to reasonable safety. I know that he wasn't happy with the last 3 or 4 games. We fell away a little bit, but injuries to Stuart played a big part in that. We just couldn't score goals towards the end. So, but anyway, welcome on board, and we'll have a great year, I'm sure we will.